back, everyone. All right, let's go ahead, I know, and turn to page 53. We're on growth of tile patterns today. We are building on our knowledge of equations and tile patterns. You guys have done lots of this, and so we're going to, let me go ahead and turn on the projector, and you should have a resource page in front of you, and we're going to be looking at tile pattern A. And I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger for you all so you can see it. Some of your resource pages are not that great, so it's a little bit harder to see. So I'm hoping this is going to help by putting this up here. Let's see, is that up there yet? It's coming on. Yeah, it's coming on. So today, as we go through this, we're waiting for this to come on. Some questions we're going to look at is how do we see growth in the pattern, and how many tiles are there in figure 0, the very beginning, and what is the connection between the pattern and the equation, and what's the connection between the pattern and the table? These are things I want you to have in the back of your mind. All right, so on page 53, we're looking at question number 1. And question number 1 says, discuss with your team what the tile pattern A looks like. This is tile pattern A. Some of your resource pages are not as easy to see, so I want you to go ahead, and if the copies didn't come out well, we made them as a department, so go ahead, and this is the same picture you have in front of you. Okay, we've done tile patterns lots, so just take 2 seconds right now, maybe 30 seconds, and discuss what you think is happening in this tile pattern, okay? Discuss that with your teammates. What do you think's happening in it? It is. Good. Okay, go ahead now, and everybody at your table, go ahead and sketch what you think figure 4 would look like and what you think figure 0 would look like. Go ahead and sketch that on your resource page under pattern A. This is pattern A. So sketch figure 0 and figure 4. Let me come around and see how we're doing here. Great, we're on page 53. Look at number 1, and you're sketching on your resource page, pattern A, you're sketching figure 4 and figure 0, okay? Figure 4 and figure 0. So what you think it would look like? Yeah, that's awesome. Some of you are already shading the growth rate, and we'll talk about that in just a second. We haven't actually identified that term. That's what we're learning today. Okay, that's good. All right. So A, we discussed. I'm just going to kind of put it over here so we are following along. I want you to record your answers. I don't think you're going to have room on the resource page. So in your composition books or your spiral notebooks, all you're doing on the resource page is you're drawing figure 4 and figure 0. In the resource, on your composition books and spiral notebooks, I want you to write down 2.1 and go ahead, and we're on number 1. And for instance, A, we already did it. We discussed it as a team. B, you're drawing the figures. So I'll just say C, graph. Okay, this was, you guys just discussed it as a team. And I heard that you guys said the growth rate was 2. Let's see if that's correct. All right, so we're doing this together, and then I'm gonna, you'll be doing several of these on your own. Okay, so I think I heard it. What is the difference between figure 1 and figure 2? What's happening here, everybody?
It's growing.
Good, it's growing by how much?
2.
2, yes. 2, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How much is it growing by?
3.
3, good. Yeah, you're right. So it's, well, and we can count again. 1, here's our base, right? Here's our base, and it's adding 3. So we see that we're adding 3 tiles each time. So if we're adding 3 tiles, where's my block? We're going to remember this right here, this base right here is figure 1. And here's your 3 tiles that are added. So it looks like over here, there's a left tower, if you will, and a right tower. And each time you are shading 1 on the left, and it appears 2 on the right tower. Let's go over here. Here is figure 1, which is our base for figure 2. And now here is our figure 2, which is our base for figure 3. And again, figure 3, you're adding 3 tiles. 1 on the left tower and 2 on the right tower. Does everyone see that? So if that's our base, let's go ahead. I'm going to drop this. Well, I want to keep it consistent. I'm going to draw the same thing we have here for tile pattern. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the center, and then here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going with our tile pattern. I'm drawing this figure right here. All right, so here is our figure 3. That's our base. That's what we're starting with, figure 3. Now we're going to add, evidently we're adding 3 is our growth rate. There's actually a name for that, okay, growth rate. So Hunter, yeah, right up here, growth rate. So we're adding 1 right here on the left tower, and then again, I'm gonna have to go above and off. We're adding 2 on the right tower. So let's see, it's asking us, we've sketched it, it's asking us how much is it growing. We've identified then that our growth rate is 3. Our growth rate is by 3 tiles each time, each figure. Okay? Growth rate is 3 tiles, right, Seth? Okay, good. Okay, let's go ahead. What else did they ask us here? We did that. Okay, let's go ahead and see what they want for D. That's not a very good D. D says, what would it look like if, oh, we haven't done figure 0. Okay, guys, if we're growing by 3, what are we going to do to figure out what our figure 0 looks like? Take away 3. Very good. We're going to subtract 3. So we know we're going to subtract 3 from where?
Figure 1.
Yes, and where on figure 1?
The top and the bottom.
Yes. Good, the left. And we're going to take away 1 on the left and how many on the right? 2. So that means that our figure 0 has exactly 4 tiles. So I'm going to put it up here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what figure 0 looks like. Okay, so now we've drawn all the figures. And then D says, what would figure 100 look like? So if we're going to come over here and we're asked for figure 100, and you're going, oh, wow, I don't want to have to draw out figures clear up to 99 to figure out what my next one is. I don't think we have to. Let's look at what our base is. We know we are starting, what's our starting value? 4, good. And we are always, always, always on tile patterns, when you're figuring out the pattern for higher figures, always starting, this is always your starting value, always. All right, so we know we're starting with 4 tiles. So I'm going to come over here, write this down on, there should be room on your papers here. We're not going to obviously draw that many. That would take forever. So here we have 4 tiles. All right, here's our 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our starting point. This is figure 0. Now, all we know is that we have each time 1 being added to the left tower. And I'm going to go up, and notice I'm not putting any lines in here because we have 100. And so if we have 1 tile being added on the left and we have 2 tiles being added on the right, well, 1 times 100 is 100 tiles. 2 times 100 is 200 tiles. Does everyone see that? Okay, so now let's count them. 100 plus 200 is 300. 300, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means our figure 100 will have 304 tiles. Now, let's see what they want us to do next. Okay? The next one says, assume that the starting value, okay, we're supposed to assume the starting value, I already told you that, of any figure that you're trying to come up with is always going to be, the starting figure is figure 0. You always look at however many tiles there are in figure 0, okay? And the growth rate is, of course, the difference between the figures, okay? So that's all they want to know. So we're going to say our starting value is always at figure 0 for tile patterns, okay, for tile patterns. Starting value. The next thing they want to know, our growth rate, we know, is the difference between the tiles. It's however many tiles, how many tiles are being added or subtracted each figure. In this case, it's added. Okay, let's see what else they want us to do. And then they want us to write an equation for this. So I'm going to put the equation up here. And this is actually our E. So, do I have room up here? You guys can't see as well over there. I'm gonna change color so this kind of pops more. Okay, we're writing an equation. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're writing an equation. So we want to know what this looks like. We remember what is our figure number. Our figure number is what? Our X or our Y? X, very good. Our figure number is always X. And our number of tiles is our Y, very good. We're recalling there. Also recall, we've also learned that Y equals f of x. This is interchangeable. This is simply a function, yes? Yes. All right, let's go ahead and look then, and it's kind of, they say f. So we're writing our equation, and we're gonna let the change, our growth rate equal m, all right? So we have m times x, that's our growth rate, and then we're gonna call b our starting point, our starting value. So if we're doing that, then we have, and I'm gonna exchange that y for f of x. So f of x equals, what is our growth rate right here? 3, good. So we have 3x plus, and our starting value again is? 4, good. Now we have an equation. Well, we better test that out and make sure it's correct. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take away the subtracted here because it's not being subtracted in this one, we're only adding. And since we're only on figure 1, I was just doing that for all future tile patterns. Let's go ahead and try this and see what we come up with. All right, I need a red. Okay, we know our x is our figure number. Our x is our figure number. Okay, 2, 3, 4. So wherever we see x, we're putting in the figure number. Okay, so we have f of 0 equals 3 times 0 plus 4. Well, let's see if that holds. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 4 is 4. So this is solid, and this checks, because we have 4 tiles there. Let's try f of 1. Well, 3 times 1 plus 4, 3 times 1 is 3 plus 4 is 7. Well, that checks as well. Let's go down here and see if this works for f of 100. It better hold for everything, right? So I'm going to bring it right down here. So we have f of,
100.
yep, very good, figure number 100, f of 100, close it, equals 3 times x, 100, close that, plus 4. Well, 3 times 100 is 300, plus 4 gives us 304 tiles. So it looks like we have written a good equation. This is how you write an equation for a tile pattern. You always, always have the starting value starting at figure 0. And your rate of change is always the difference between the number of tiles in each figure. Okay? All right. Let's see what we're doing now. So we've taken care of all that. Okay, I want everyone in your teams. Now you're going to do 2, 3, and 4. And I'll just turn that off now. Okay? Okay, so teamwork, let's look at number 3. Okay, number 3, we've looked at 2 tile patterns now, tile pattern A and tile pattern B, with growth rates and rate of change. David, eyes up here, please. Thank you. All right, number 3. It says you are given the equation y equals 3x plus 1. And it asks you to fill in this table. And the table is as follows. Okay? Yeah. We have the figure number, and then we have the number of tiles. All right, and this is all in your book, so that we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and I think they have one more. They do. All right, let's look at this and see what we can come up with. We know, again, which is our x and which is our y. Okay, which one is this figure number? What is this one? Good, this is our x, absolutely. And then our y is, of course, the number of tiles. All right, so in other words, we don't need to see the tiles to know whether or not we can determine this table. Let's look at this. All right, so what do we always, always, always look at for our starting point of our tile pattern? 0? No, that is, what do we look at for the start? Yeah, the starting point is the number of tiles in figure 0, right? So, and where did we say that that would be found in our last equation? Look at the last one, guys, that we wrote. Where did we say that was always going to be found? Remember, we had y equals mx plus b. Which one was the starting value? B. Very good. So that means our starting value is 1, right? Gosh, this should look familiar. This is the y-intercept, yes, on a graph, 0, 1. Some of you people ski, some of you people run. What we're talking about now with our next piece is rate of change, steepness of a slope, if you will. If you are going, if you Nordic ski, you go up and down. If you run, you go up and down. The steepness or the incline of a hill is your rate of change. We said our rate of change was found where? Where's our rate of change? Which one is our rate of change? M, very good. So we know now that this is increasing by how many? 3, good. So now we can go ahead and fill in what our rate of change is. So our rate of change is 1 plus 3 is 4, 7, 10. Excellent. All right, so now we filled in this table and we have determined where we see in an equation how we find our starting value. It's always where B is, and our rate of change is always in front of X. It's our M. That's called our slope. Slope of a line. This is, of course, a linear function. All right, so we've taken care of that. That was pretty straightforward. Everybody look at number 4 now. Number 4. And I need one person to read that for me. Who wants to read that? Number 4. Don't everyone volunteer at once. Okay, thank you. Page 54, number 4. Page 54, we just have to turn the page. Read number 4. Thank you very much.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, right here?
Yes. Yeah, read all of number 4.
Look back at the growth of patterns A, B, and C. Imagine that the team next to you created a brand new tile pattern and they refused to show the pattern to you. What information would you need in order to predict the number of tiles in figure 100? Explain your reasoning.
So what do you always have to know? Before you do anything, you have to know where you're at, right? Yes, the starting value. So for number 4, before we do anything, before you can continue the tile pattern of what they have written, since they're not going to show it to you, you must know, you need to know how many tiles are in figure 0. Okay? Awesome job today, guys. Let's go ahead and I need the resource people, one person from each page. I'll talk to you in momentarily. Do we have our laptops back yet?
No.
Well, that's going to, I guess we will postpone that particular assignment. I'm going to have you actually create your own tile pattern. Hold on, wait just a second. Take a seat, guys. With your laptops, but since you don't have them reissued yet because we had the virus at the beginning of the year and we still are having issues because I can't print. I only print at home.